There comes a time, if you read often enough, that a book will change the way you see everything. Change your perspective on life, on the world, on your relationships. And that's what this book, The 4 Agreements, did for me. A few years ago, actually. I'm super into self-development and life mastery and human behavior and what makes people do the things that they do. So I really love books about that, mindset, self-development, anything that's going to help me enrich my life. And if you haven't heard about the 4 Agreements, you have to have been living under a rock. I mean, the 4 Agreements is one of those staple, pivotal books that literally can change everything in such a short amount of time. This is a really short read. And the first time I read it, it was on a quick flight, like a 3-hour flight. I read it in one sitting, including breaks. But that changed my life for the time being, because lately I've been realizing I have been so emotional lately. Like, little things getting to me, other people's behavior, reactions, comments. I've been so much more emotional than usual. And I'm all about feeling your emotions, processing them. I mean, emotion stands for energy in motion. And when you don't process your emotions, a lot of things can happen. But it was getting to a point where it's becoming unhealthy. And I thought about the 4 Agreements. I'm like, I know this book. I need a refresh, because I couldn't even remember verbatim what some of the agreements were. And I went to go look for the book because I have so many books, but I had given away both copies that I purchased. So I'm like, damn, you have this buyer's remorse. If you buy books or even Audibles, I don't know what you guys do, but you have this remorse where you're like, you think of a new book that you want to read, but you have so many books that you haven't even touched. So you're just like, you just don't feel right buying a new book. That's where I was. I'm like, I'm not about to buy this book again. I have other books I can read. Well, the book found me. The book found me at a terminal. Brand new, fresh, nothing in it. And I was like, I looked around, I'm like, thinking it was anyone's book, but I gave it about 30 minutes. And as I was leaving, I had to head out to the next city I was going to. I picked it up because I felt like God sent me this book. And I wanted to share what the 4 Agreements are and how I interpret them, and see if it could change your life, But no matter what I say, it's always best to go read the book for yourself, okay? I've given this book to a few people. I'm pretty sure they haven't read it. They haven't read it. Why? Because they weren't ready, and that's okay. Plus, the introduction is very spiritual. So if you're more of a tactical person, you might read the introduction and be like, oh my gosh, because it's just kind of laying the foundation of where these agreements come from. And it's from ancient Native American culture and Mexican culture, okay? Which, if you know anything about genealogy, they're similar. That's a whole nother story. But I just want to get right into it. Hold on, I wrote these down again. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. Okay, what does that mean? First of all, let's look at what impeccable means. Impeccable means without sin, okay? Peccatus is the Latin root word for sin, and then which is without. So without sin, impeccable with our word. And what would that actually mean? Now, there's a saying in the Bible that our tongue is a double-edged sword, meaning we can create beautiful things with it, but we can also create destruction, right? There's nothing more powerful than the words that come out of our mouth. Think about people who declared war with just their words. Our word is what we use to manifest any and everything. I was telling a girlfriend of mine that I found this book randomly at a terminal, and she said, you know what, those type of things happen to you all the time. And you know what, I realized she's right. But what happens to me all the time is what I focus on, good and bad. Same thing for you. So your word is creating magic, whether you like it or not. So you can use it to create pure, beautiful magic or black, destructive magic. The choice is yours, right? He also goes on to say about how us human beings have learned to bond over gossip. Ladies, you know what we're talking about. It's really hard to get into a conversation that doesn't have to do with gossip. Think about all the news, all the, daytime TV back in the day, all the blogs, everything is gossiping, okay? Now, what is gossiping? I love the way Miguel puts this analogy together. He says, gossiping is like a computer virus. A computer virus has the same code as every other code. The only difference is it has ill intentions. Okay, think about that. Gossiping, it seems like we're coming together. It seems like we're connecting as throughout this conversation, but in reality, the intention behind it is not good. So to be impeccable with your word is not meaning surface level just to keep your word, but it's to understand how much weight is behind the things that you say. The second agreement, don't take anything personally. Whew, I really needed to hear this, okay? Don't take anything personally. And he has a really interesting perspective on this, saying that taking things personally is one of the most selfish things you can do, because you are automatically assuming that this is about you. Okay? You're automatically assuming this is about you, but when you think about it, everybody is living in their own movie in which they are the starring actor. Okay? You're like secondary. You are not the main character of their story, but you're the main character of yours, and you just assume that they also see you in that way. It's not true, okay? Even if someone directly insults you, it's what's going on within them. So if someone is telling me, you know what, Paris, you're so lazy, let's say that was the thing. I can't take that personally. I can't, because there's something going on with that person where something about what they're perceiving is reflecting the parts of them that they don't like about themselves. Does that make sense? When you are working on being impeccable with your word, you start to realize that people aren't being impeccable with theirs, and nothing to judge, but you just start perceiving, you start realizing these things, so that you can't take anything personally. You become immune to people who are using their word with ill intention. So this goes as deep as even the voices in our own head. We can't take it personal. Over 90% of that really isn't even our own voice. It's a voice of the collective, of different types of opinions we've heard, different people we grew up with, teachers, the news, who knows? But it's a voice of the collective, so we can't even trust some of the things that go on in our own mind. Once you realize how important it is not to take things personally, the whole world can gossip about you. Anything can happen, and you realize that this isn't about you. This is about their own inner work that they need to do. So mind your business and let them mind theirs. The third agreement, do not make assumptions. Don't make assumptions. Now, this one, I've been called out on this one a lot, and I'll tell you why, okay? I have the ability to really anticipate people's needs. I've been in restaurant industry for damn near 15 years. I'm a Pisces, we're known as the intuitive sign, and I just always feel like I kind of can feel someone before they even open their mouths. And this has been proven a lot from the people I know. I can just be like, hey, I'll just say something. I just feel like they're thinking so loud I can hear it, And they're looking at me like, how in the hell did you know that? It happens a lot. Now, I run into issues when I'm wrong, when I'm assuming, okay? I'm just like, been told so many times that I'm right about anticipating what people are thinking, that when they say, no, that's not what I was thinking, I'm in my head like, sure, I'm assuming. What happens when we assume? When we assume something, we end up taking it personally, and now we're gossiping. So you see how it it is a trickle effect of all the other agreements. So I assume someone is feeling ill towards me, right? I take it personally. And now I go back, I'm not impeccable with my word. I start gossiping about my assumption. This is really what a lot of our media is about. It's about the breaking of all of these agreements. If we can understand, instead of assuming, to ask clarifying questions, it's not always easy, but that would change so much. Like, this is what I heard. Is that what you meant? You know, and someone can correct you if that's not what they meant. This will cure so much communication issues. But the thing is, people are scared. They'd rather just assume based on their own life paradigm what someone else is going through or what they're thinking. Is that fair? We also make assumptions about ourselves, and it keeps us stuck. I like to run, you know? I always assume that I don't enjoy weight training as much. But when I get in there, I'm a beast, right? Other people, oh no, that's not my thing. I don't do that. I break under pressure. I work well under pressure. I'm always late. These are assumptions that we make, and we keep ourselves stuck. So do not make assumptions about yourself or about anyone else. Let everyone be free to change and evolve the way we're supposed to as living creatures on this planet. Number 4 is so important, agreement 4, because it puts the action behind the first 3, which are just more mental. Always do your best, okay? Always do your best. What does that mean? I've read this book. Do you think I've been completely impeccable with my word the last 2 days? Do you think? No, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best with the day that I have today, and I'm taking action on it, because none of this stuff matters if we can understand it but not do anything about it. You have to have action to make a change. It's not just about the knowing. It's about the applied knowledge. They always say, knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is power. So I really like this agreement because it puts into action all of the things that we're learning. I love this thing. He says, action is living fully. Inaction is denying life. And I'm with that. I've done a lot of just dwindling my life away, not getting things done, knowing what to do, but not doing it. And if you do your best every single day, you have this sense of peace. You have this sense of peace when it comes to achieving anything you want to do, building relationships, stepping out of your comfort zone. And this is a part where we cannot bullshit ourselves. We can lie to everybody else. Oh, I did my best today. Only you know if you did your best. So it really does no good lying to other people if you don't feel like you did your best, even if you are laying next to the love of your life. As soon as your head hits that pillow, you know what's really going on, right? You know how you feel. So it's about us at the end of the day. It's not about impressing other people. It's not about what you post. It's not about what you want to portray to anyone else. This is about inner work, okay? And the 4 agreements really, really made me understand so much about the inner hell I've been putting myself through lately, and healing my relationships with other people through healing my relationship with myself. Whether they know it or not, I feel at peace with some of the things that were driving me nuts, just last week. So again, this book, Don Miguel Ruiz, The 4 Agreements. And again, without any action, there's no manifestation, y'all. So you have to actually go get the book. It's $10. Read it. It takes 2-3 hours to read, okay? And change your life. Do something different. We have to do new things if we want to see new results, right? All right, you guys, that's enough for this video. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.